Good afternoon. You're looking live over the lakes of the Ozarks. It's Thursday, July 7th. Here's what's making news right now.
MU is slashing the budget, and school officials say an enrollment cap is a last resort.
And a former city employee is arrested for a felony sex crime. KOMU 8 News First at 5 starts now.
Live from Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News First at 5.
Mr. Roush is no longer employed by the city of Columbia.
City officials today say they have dismissed a Columbia firefighter after his arrest for a felony sex crime. Good evening. I'm Angie Bailey.
And I'm Sarah Hill. Thanks for joining us. Police arrested fire truck driver and engineer Joseph Roush Tuesday after the alleged victim came forward to report an incident. KOMU8's Jake Schlegel has the latest. Jake, what did Columbia police say?
Police say Roush admits his involvement in the incident. Police say a 15-year-old family member of Roush told them that Roush touched her bare breasts and took lewd photos of her. Police say the girl also said Roush exposed his genitals to her. Police say the girl reported the incident just before midnight on July 4th. The next morning, police took Roush into custody. Roush is now out on $100,000 bond. A council status hearing is scheduled for July 12th, and the preliminary hearing is scheduled for July 20th.
MU officials today called a possible enrollment cap a last resort for answering budget pressures. Talk of the possible limit on student enrollment first arose during the June curators meeting. The UM system is facing budget pressures after the state cut its budget by 8.1%. MU media relations officials say the university will try to find other solutions to those cuts. MU enrollment officials refuse to talk on camera, but they say as long as the building, faculty, and classrooms remain in teachable condition, MU can handle the students it has.
Missouri's budget director said today the additional $100 million the governor has set aside for disaster relief may not be enough. The governor set aside $50 million in June when he signed the fiscal year 2012 budget. FEMA assessments then led the state to add $100 million more. The governor brought the funds to that level last Friday from surplus general revenue collections for the last fiscal year. That revenue exceeded the previous fiscal year collections by 5.9%.
The money that we set aside for disaster is really related to three issues at this point in time. It is the flooding in southeast Missouri, the flooding that is now happening across Missouri, Missouri River flooding that will happen now and is continuing to happen, and then, of course, recovery for Joplin from the tornado. Also, St. Louis had a tornado.
The federal government is recovering 90% of Joplin debris removal costs, 15% more than usual major disaster coverage. The state has a pending request for full coverage.
Weather-wise today, kind of a nice change of pace with the cloud cover and cool temperatures. We topped out at 76, and we did pick up about forecasts coming up and a look at the weekend in a few minutes on KOMU 8 News at 5.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Civil rights groups are going to court to stop a voter ID ballot initiative that's on next year's ballot.
Those groups say the ballot is unconstitutional. The constitutional amendment would require Missouri voters to bring a non-expired driver's license, a non-driver's license, a military ID, or any U.S. or Missouri document with a signature, photo, and expiration date. The defendants listed in the complaint are Senator Bill Stouffer, who sponsored the bill in the Missouri Senate, House Speaker Stephen Tilley, Senator Robert Mayer, and Secretary of State Robin Carnahan. The lawsuit names 8 plaintiffs total, with Lieberman says represents nearly 230,000 voters in Missouri who would not meet the initiative's requirements. None of the defendants in this case returned our phone calls today. And new lawsuit new movement on a debt relief battle and some positive economic news.
Lauren Thomas has your First Nation report.
Congressional leaders say they will work through the weekend to come to an agreement on spending and taxes. President Barack Obama will meet with top congressional leaders this morning to discuss raising the debt limit. But he says there were no breakthroughs. If leaders don't come to an agreement by August, the government could default on its own debt. Retailers today are calling June's sales numbers robust. Reports say June sales were up more than 7% last year. Lots of discounts helped increase the sales. June is the second biggest month for retailers after December. Retailers say they're concerned about the sales continuing through July through the back-to-school season. Authorities today are investigating in a nine-car train derailment in Indiana. 5 of the train cars fell into the Big Blue River. Railroad authorities say a train bridge over the river collapsed. Crews are assessing the damage. Protests continue in Yemen, and Somalia goes through a record drought. Ashley Mazzo has your First World Report.
Thanks, Lauren. First, we're in Somalia, where more than 1,000 people are fleeing Somalia due to the worst drought in the area in 60 years. UN officials say thousands head to Kenya and Ethiopia every day. Lack of rain over several seasons is causing crops to fail. There are no international aid agencies in Somalia right now. Next to Yemen, where protesters staged more demonstrations against the government's capital in Yemen. Yemenis have been demonstrating against the country's president for 6 months. Yemen's president flew to Saudi Arabia after he was injured in an assassination attempt. The U.S., along with other Arab states, have been trying to negotiate a deal for him to step down, but he has refused to leave. Last, we're in London, where new today, a best-selling British tabloid is shutting down after being accused in a phone hacking scandal. The News of the World is accused of hacking into cell phone messages from grieving families, celebrities, royals, and politicians. The last edition of the 168-year-old paper will go out Sunday. Police are investigating a list of 4,000 possible victims. And that's your First World Report.
Thanks a lot. The Missouri Department of Transportation is holding a public hearing right now on the Route K bike lane project.
KOMU 8 Stephanie Redding has a first look at that story and joins us live from that hearing right now. Stephanie?
Hi, I'm standing right here in Rockbridge. Right behind me in the cafeteria is MoDOT. MoDOT is having a public hearing about the new price tag, about $2 million. Construction will begin next year. Reporting live in Columbia, Stephanie Redding, KOMU News.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stephanie.
Those numbers are in. Find out just how healthy U.S. teens are this year. And then we're using a brand new social network to talk with multiple viewers face to face.
And there's still a chance for a few showers to occur this evening in mid-Missouri. We'll show you what to expect next on KOMU 8 News at 5.
And there's a live look over Sedalia. You can see the clouds out there. You can also chat with us from the newest webcam. Right now, during the sound bites and commercials, you can see what we're up to. It's a little hairy in here today. Just go to our Facebook page, or you can also catch us on live stream. This is KOMU 8 News, first at 5, coverage you can count on.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather with Chief Weathercaster Dave Schmidt.
Good afternoon to you. There's a look at our First Alert weather cam. That's the one looking over the Columbia Regional Airport. Quite a few clouds in mid-Missouri today. And a look at the weather.
We got a little rain shower today. That'll
almost half an inch.
Keep the grass from being quite so crispy out there. All right, thanks a lot, Dave.
Flooding, warm weather, prime breeding ground for one virus.
Find out who could be affected. We'll take a look. In your health news today, area horse owners say they're not too worried about the West Nile virus, but MU veterinarians are warning mid-Missouri horse owners of prime mosquito breeding conditions due to flooding and warm weather. Boy, we've had that. Many horses don't show symptoms of the virus and overcome it on their own. The state reported, in fact, only 5 cases last year. Vets say owners should annually vaccinate horses and clean their stables of any standing water. Also new today, a federal report says the teen birth rate declined for the 2nd straight year. Good news. The report shows premature births down, but more middle schoolers are using illegal drugs. The number of 8th graders using drugs rose 2% from last year. And injecting stem cells into hearts can reduce pain and improve the ability to exercise. The stem cells were designed to create new blood vessels in diseased hearts. They found patients with a low dose of stem cells improved mobility greatly. Further research, though, could lead to FDA approval.
And we are live right now on a new kind of social media network, and it is called Google+, and I'm looking at the camera right here talking about it. You are looking at something that's called Google Hangout, and it is a video chat program where people all around Mid-Missouri, all around the world actually, are logging on to chat together, and we plan to use this feature more times on our newscast. We want to bring in our social media ninja, and that would be Jen Reeves, to talk a little bit more about what is Google+, what is Google Hangout?
Well, Google Hangout is a way to chat. You're in it. It's a part of the new Google+ social network, and right now it's in a limited invite, so not everyone can be in it yet, but we already have KOMU News in it, and we've been playing around with it. And let me give you a quick explanation of what Google+ is. It is basically a more social version of Twitter, and basically you have a chance to talk about anything. Anyone can follow you, but you can decide who listens to what you say. So you can say something privately to Sarah, or you can say something to groups of people that you know. So it's not as closed as Facebook, but it's not quite as open as Twitter.
And we are chatting on a live newscast. Maybe one of the first people to do this, using this video chat program on a live local newscast. Let's talk with Aaron Furman of New Florence. What do you think about this Google Hangout program, Aaron?
I really like it. It's actually connected me with people that I otherwise would not have been connected with. So that feature, I think, is really great. And like Jen just said, you're able to follow people. And then as brands come in, you're able to follow brands. I've even had a couple people follow me back that really surprised me. And it allows you to share in a circle and make a quick comment under somebody, and you know it's okay because they shared that within a circle that you're in, or they did it publicly. So they're opening that invite up.
Aaron, last question, Jen, because we have just a few more seconds of time. Tell the folks at home how they can sign up. It's on a limited invite basis, but that might change. So what's the website, Jen, where people can send their email?
It is plus.google.com. My big tip is get a profiles.google.com account first. It'll make it easier to get in.
All right, sounds good. Google Hangout on live TV.
Woohoo!
Way to go, guys. Thanks, viewers, for tuning in. We'll do more of this group video chat coming up on U News, which starts this fall, September 12th. September 12th, we'll see you then. Back in a moment.
KOMU 8 Caring Company.
Welcome back. We're talking with Samantha and Amanda and a little bit about sensory overload and a sensory-free Saturday that's coming up. Tell the folks at home what this is and who this is for.
Sensory Sensitive Saturday is a program that Mizzou occupational therapy students started a few years ago, and it was mainly based for a little before that would be great.
All right, and if you'd like more information, there's an email address that you saw on the screen, or call the TV station and we can get you some more information as well. Samantha and Amanda from the Occupational Therapy Department at the University of Missouri, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Back with the photo finish in a moment.
Still a possibility of getting a few showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the southern part of our extreme southern counties in mid-Missouri. 72 for a late night temperature, down to 67 tomorrow morning, 86 and quite a bit of sunshine tomorrow afternoon.
Take a look at our photo finish now. Ann Wallace in Columbia sent us a photo of a swallowtail butterfly on her beautiful cornflowers. That's some nice color there. And a familiar face. Check it out. Can you pick him out? Uncle Jimmy received a photo of former KOMU anchor Chance Seals with his family in Florida. They were down visiting. Send us your photos and the stories behind them. We'll put them on KOMU 8 News at 5 and 6. There's the link. It's shareit@komu.com.
And a reminder, you don't have to be on Google Plus in order to chat with us. This is a shot of our live stream behind-the-scenes camera right now, and we are chatting with our viewers on Facebook and Twitter. So log on to livestream.com/KOMU8TV, and we'll chat with you and you. We have a little MIZZOU going with viewers on either side of the
holding
news
it down.
set.
That's right.
Now here's a look at what we're following for KOMU 8 News at 6.
Some say a local dinner train will cause issues for those who are disabled.
Just some of what we're following. We hope that you'll tune in tonight. And a reminder, you can get our stories, continuous news on KOMU.com.
That's right. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
All right.
Well, there you go. A whole newscast behind the scenes.
That's right. You are on.
Woohoo. Well, you guys, I'm going to head out. Thanks for being part of another dramatic and exciting part of KOMU's future.
Jen has to go because she's got another 2 hangouts scheduled.